Good day, Minecraftians. Purple Mentat here, bringing you episode 1 of season 2 of my Agrarian Skies Hardcore Quest Let's Play. This game pack by Jadedcat is available on the Feed the Beast launcher. Now, some of you might be wondering, and not without reason, why a season 2 already, since I just finished season 1 not too long ago. Well, the reason for this is that there was a lot of changes to the early game of this game pack since I did my Agrarian Skies playthrough. Specifically, a lot of what was changed has to do with how you can get those first few resources and what the starting progression is going to be like. So, it seemed like it was time, especially since 3.0 came out and added a lot of new quests to get started on a brand new playthrough. Now, what you've seen me do so far, plant a tree, bone meal it, make a crook. These crooks are very important for the early progression as they greatly increase the drop rate of any items that might come from leaves, including apples and saplings. And those apples, well, they could be your lifeline early on. Getting more saplings, also extremely important. And, while it doesn't look like I'm going to get one from this tree, crooks provide the most important early game resource, silkworms. So, I'm going to be growing some trees and continuing on for a bit. Now, I need to be quite careful, as this platform is not well lit, and there is plenty of room for monsters to spawn. Grab up the dirt out of the slightly hidden dirt chest that I'm certain everybody knows about by now, and get another tree going. We'll put it over here. I'm planning... Oops, that doesn't work as well as I want it to. We'll put it over here. I'm planning on keeping the initial map intact this time, just as you see it, and I will only be adding to it instead of the alternative. So that tree I'm actually not going to touch right now, so I'm going to be bone mealing everything to keep things moving. My goals in this first episode are to at least match my progression in the first episode I did last time around, and that would mean getting to a point where I have an initial set of tools ready, as well as setting up a cobblestone generator. And I think that I can manage that. So, I'm going to farm some trees and wait for this... actually, no, I'm not going to wait for this rain to go away. This is a fantastic early resource. What am I doing? Quickly, I need 3 barrels. Barrels are made with oak wood planks and slabs. I don't think I have quite enough to make 3, but I have plenty enough to make 2, and that'll be good to start. So barrels are fantastic because they can gather water when they're left out in the rain like this. So I'm going to set those right over here, and they're going to gather me some water. Yay! Glad I thought to do that. And yeah, that means more punching trees. Those barrels are going to be very important for producing one of the key early game resources, clay. You need to get a significant source of clay going before you can get your cobblestone generator going. But I'll show you how all of that works along the way. For longtime fans of the series, I'm going to be covering everything again. This is going to be another full tutorial style playthrough in which I cover the details of every mechanic that I use. And the reason for... I really just put a log down. Whoops. The reason I am choosing to go that route as opposed to expecting you guys to know what's going on is, well, since my very first video, I have gained somewhere along the lines of 7,600 subscribers, and I can't expect all of them to have gone through my entire backlog. Also, that first video, well, I mean, it was rough. I am now 90 videos into my YouTube career, and yes, I feel comfortable calling it a career at this point, especially with all of the support that my partner Apollo Cat has been giving me towards it. And I'm not going to, I'm not going to be able to compare the two. I have much, hey look, silkworm, yay. Silkworm, infect some leaves with the silkworm, they become infested leaves. Now, thanks to the Ex Nihilo Wayla compatibility, you get a progress monitor. Once that fills up all of the way, once it's at 100% progress, then you can use your crook on it and get more silkworms and potentially string, which is going to be very important. In any case, I don't feel that it is fair to compare the videos that I've done in the past with the ones that I am currently capable of doing. As such, I am choosing to make a better set of videos to go along with the new series. So what have I just created here? Well, I made some patterns for Tinker's Construct so that I could create a stencil table, a part builder, and a tool station. And the reason that I needed these was so I could get my first tool created with some of this flint. And that very first tool is going to be an axe. I want to turn the stencil table into the slab version so I can put it directly on top of the part builder right there. You know what? No, I don't want those there. I'm changing my mind. I have been known to do that very frequently in this series, so expect more of that if you're new. There's a lot of slabs and other forge multi-part items around the platform. You can break those easily with your bare hands, so no reason not to do so. And then you can make yourself a little bit of a stairwell leading back up into your home so that you're not spending your, what do you call it? Food, hunger, to get places. There we go. Because you'll notice I basically have no food right now, and I need quite a bit to survive. All right, first step, change the blank pattern into an axe head pattern. Second step, toss that into the part builder with a bit of flint to get a flint axe head. We do have the extra TIC or iguana tweaks, I forget exactly which one it is, that allows us to replace the axe head later on. But this will be good for now. Gets me a mining speed 4 axe, which will be significantly faster at chopping down trees than my bare hands, which is fantastic and useful and awesome. Here we go. Leaves have progressed to 100%, and actually, as long as I'm at it and the rain is still going on, I now have enough wood that I can make myself that third barrel. And I wanted 3 very particularly because I'm going to want 3 blocks of clay. And also, I'm going to want to get myself another infinite water source set up down here, because going up top there to get my water, well, I mean, it's either hazardous, as I need to go along the edge like this and be very far away from that corner, which will allow monsters to spawn, before I have lights anyway. Or I need to do a bunch of jumping, which is bad for my hunger bar. So far, I've managed to avoid jumping completely, which is fantastic for my hunger bar. As you can see, infested leaves will infest neighboring leaves, which will cause the entire tree to eventually be infested. And then I can start collecting it. Alright, so I'm going to do a whole bunch of tree farming, gather myself apples, saplings, wood, silkworms, and string out of my infested leaves. And once I am at a better place to start doing something useful, I will cut back in. See you soon. You know what, folks? I realized as I was farming up trees and letting my leaves get infested and progress through that I've been a bit remiss. So I've started Agrarian Skies a number of times when there was no quest book, and I just immediately flowed into doing what I was used to. However, now there are some quests to help us out right from the start. There is actually a rather interesting storyline involved, read by the famous Sacha Ravel for the initial voiceover, which you can hear over and over by clicking here to play over and over again. We're going to get straight into the quests. The very first quest in learning to skyblock is using the book. It asks you to make some oak wood planks and then claim your reward of an apple and the pick of Shattered Dreams, which, if you hold control, you can see all of the stats: Thaumic Binding, Netherrack Tool Rod, and a wooden pickaxe head. So not fantastic, not very fast. And if you hold shift, you can see the current stats of it: the Stonebound modifier, the mining speed, the max Stonebound bonus, modifiers remaining, all of that stuff is all available. This is thanks to, I believe it's the TIC Tooltips mod from Squeak, and he's fantastic, and they're amazing. Alright, moving on. Next quest, Manual Completion. This is the consume type. It wants to consume a bit of oakwood planks. And to do so, all you need to do is have the oakwood planks in your inventory, open the quest book, and click Manual Submit. And you'll notice that my 4 oakwood planks becomes 3 oakwood planks. Those are gone forever. However, I do get the quest delivery system as a reward. And I'm going to set that down in the world, as the very next quest asks me to use the QDS. Using the QDS requires me to set up a hopper on top of it and set this quest to the QDS. To do so, all I need to do is select task and right-click this onto the QDS. You'll notice that it's asking for the same 1 oak wood plank, which I have available in my inventory. However, I cannot manual submit. This is a new feature with the latest version of Hardcore Questing Mode mod, which forces you to submit things only by the QDS. This will get me my first full heart and my first reward bag. You can imagine how hairy and scary this pack was when you literally had 0 extra lives. Once you fully complete the quest little mushroom will disappear from the QDS, and if you go back into your book, you will see that this portion of the quest is complete. You will then see no help given. You're going to need to use the pickaxe, either one that you made or the pick of splintered dreams that you received, to break the hopper and submit it. And if you submit it by manual submit that in, you can claim your reward of a full heart, a reward bag, and the ability to progress further in the quest line. So, if I eat that heart, I go from 2 to 3 lives, and that is a basic reward bag giving me my first bits of help along the way. I receive 4 nutmeg saplings, which is fantastic and useful. However, I put a challenge on myself in my Agrarian Skies Let's Play. I do not use any rewards that I have not shown how to acquire without the reward bags. The reason for this is the reward bags are very random. You have no guarantee of getting something similar to me at a similar point in time. Therefore, I find it better to show you how to acquire all of the items through the mechanics involved without the use of the reward bags. Now, one alteration I am going to make to this world, I'm going to take down these clay fences because they, I feel, do not add a lot except a whole bunch of difficulty and extra space taken up in the early game. That's 100%. We can whack that with the crook so I can get up there and collect it. I will, however, be using those fences later on, so I don't want to discard them. And you can see I got my first bit of string from breaking that piece of those bits of infested leaves with the crook. All right, next quest along the way. Well, I have 2 options. I can either start a repeatable quest in which I kill 3 zombies to get 4 apples and half a heart. That's not really super useful. However, the half a heart is nice. So there's no reason to ever run entirely out of lives in this if you have weaponry that can help you kill zombies. Or I can start on in the beginning, in which I need to craft all of these things. I need a chest and a crafting station to finish this off, as I've already made myself the part builder, tool station, stencil table, oak barrel, and crook. Luckily, the quest is smart enough to understand what you have already completed, and it will get me a reward bag, a quarter of a heart, and 10 apples. So all I need to do is pick up my crafting table, put it in my inventory to create the crafting station. The crafting station is actually a pretty neat device that I'm very happy with. It is the first of many items in the pack that will make crafting a little bit easier on you. The way that works, 1, I can put items in there and they will stay in there instead of falling on the ground when I leave. 2, when it is placed next to a tool station, actually when it is placed anywhere at all, it functions in a similar way to a tool station. I can put my hatchet in there with a bit of flint and it will allow me to repair the hatchet. 3, if I place a chest next to it, which I'm actually going to make 2 chests so that I have a double chest, I can access the contents of the chest from the crafting station. I cannot use the the inventory tweaks hotkeys with this chest unless I access it directly. However, I can place things in there manually, and I can even spread them around, and the double click works because those are all vanilla features. Shift click is the only one that does not because it thinks we're in a crafting table instead of a chest. All right, check the quest book. That finishes off Carpenter's Workshop. I already have an axe, so I'm not going to grab up the Axe of Despair. Instead, I'm going to take the Pan of Destiny. Claim my reward. This basic reward bag rewards me with 2 spaghetti and meatballs, a large meal. that's actually a pretty fantastic find early on because food is so scarce, and that's one that I don't feel too bad about using because the alternative is basically farm up lots of apples and eat tons of them. And while that's possible, and you've already seen how to do it, it's also boring. So I'm going to happily use up the spaghetti and meatballs. We don't have the extra Wayla tooltip mod installed that shows you exactly how much hunger these restore. However, I can tell you, if I open up NEI and I look up, I believe it's Pam's? No, it must be Hunger Overhaul. Yes. There are multiple different levels of food that start from morsel, go into snack. Where is it? I can't find a snack easily. There we go. Better than snacks are light meals. Better than light meals are meals, which... there's a meal. Better than meals are large meals, and better than the large meals are the feasts. And I believe the large meals restore something like 5 of those pork chops down there, which is 10 points of hunger. I'll find out because I'm going to let myself get very low on hunger before I eat one of these, as it will last a long, long time. So, I'm going to continue getting myself more string and getting ready to produce some clay. And, oh, actually, you know what? I think that I can progress further, can't I? Smooth as silk requires me to create... so yes, I need to get myself more string to complete the next quest. I'll be back once I am ready to do that. Alright folks, time to learn why I chose the Pan of Destiny. Plus 5 attack damage makes it a pretty good early weapon. Much better than, well, about equivalent to the hatchet. There is a zombie over there. Specifically, an angry zombie from Thaumcraft. Because I was collecting... Whoa, hello. The other great thing about the pan is it has this pretty significant knockback on it. I was collecting some goodies from the side of the world. Oh, there's a creeper over there too. You need to be a little careful. And I was too far away at nighttime. Caused some creatures to spawn. But that's okay. I can smack them to death with my frying pan. Nice. Alright, so that's why you want the frying pan early on, because that knockback is pretty significant and very helpful early on. I'm not quite sure what those particle effects that were popping up around the creatures after I smacked them, but I'm also not too worried about it. So I actually got an iron ingot out of that, which is really nice. And, let me see. I don't think there's anything that I can do early on with one iron ingot that I can't do with other things. Nah. I can turn a zombie, wither skeleton skull, rotten flesh, and leather into a zombie head. Purely for iguana tweaks use, I imagine. In any case, we'll save that for later, as I can't directly turn that into a tool head. What I can do, however, if I so choose, is replace the wood head on that with some flint, but that's actually going to be something that waits for a little bit later when I finish leveling up this pick. Because the higher tier the tool head is, the more it takes to level it. So while that's not a fantastic tool right now, and in fact I could make better, it will be a better tool in the long run if I just keep using it, because that netherrack handle is actually... is the netherrack handle any good? Yes, the netherrack tool rod is a lot better than anything else that I have access to right now. Okay, so I have a good bit of string now, and one of the great things about string is you can turn 4 of it into wool. And if I do that 3 times, well, now I have my 3 wool, so that I can create a bed and no longer have to worry about night, because I can come up here and just take a bit of a nap to pass through the night quickly. And poof. Morning dawns. Fantastic. Now, zombie flesh. If you are killing zombies anyway, you may as well make yourself a drying rack from Tinker's Construct, which just uses 3 slabs of any type. And you're probably going to want a few of them, actually. And you can set up your drying racks up here and put your rotten flesh on it, and that will turn into jerky. Specifically, I believe it turns into the monster jerky, which I think restores 1 health hunger bar apiece. In any case, let's see what these large meals do for us. We're not going to have food like this again anytime soon. I'm currently down 6 mutton chops or 12 points of hunger. And that restores me up to missing only 1. So they did indeed restore 10, just like I imagined. Now, why was I way over here collecting up a bunch of green-stained clay slabs? Well, I need a safe way to collect the drops. There we go. Out of that tree. And to do that, I'm going to build myself a little bit of a slab platform. Placing micro blocks, can be a little bit finicky. You need to make sure you're aiming at the portion of the reticule that appears where you want it to place. For me, I want them to be up like that. So I'm going to make sure that they get placed in a way that they appear up there. Now, you also want to be careful. Shift will not necessarily let you live. With slabs, you're fine, but with smaller parts, holding shift and walking towards the edge could cause you to fall right off anyway. So just, exercise excessive caution when you're near the falling into the void here. In fact, I'm being extraordinarily uncautious here. It's a poor showing. This is not a good idea. If I were to slip and fall, I would lose a lot of very vital things at the moment. All right, I'm going to grab that notch. Does not need to be there. And that slab. So while I did say I'm going to leave the original area as is, I am also going to use a bit of these extra parts that are just lying around the map for to my advantage, because I don't see any good reason not to make the terrain at least slightly safer. However, that very beautiful house will stay because it is quite pretty, and last time I felt a little bad when I destroyed it. All right, I want to be very careful collecting these, which means I may lose some. That's life. Yes, I got the slab, though. That's what I really wanted. And then I'm going to go over here. I'm going to break that down. And put this in its place. Fantastic. So, what else do I need to craft for that quest? I got the bed. I need a wood hammer, a fishing rod, and an oak sieve. So the sieve is actually the most expensive of those and the most useful in the long term. I will be using these for a very long time to come. To make the sieve, I need planks, sticks, and silk mesh. And the silk mesh, 9 string. So it's going to cost me a total of 18 string to make the sieve, which for some reason I thought it was more than that. And I'm actually pretty happy about this. Fantastic. So I can get things going right away. And now you will see why I have not set up my other 6 dirt, because I'm going to be using it in the sieve. Well, some of it anyway. We'll keep that indoors for now so I don't accidentally lose anything over the side. The use of the sieve, you can toss in any sort of dirt or dust or sand and a number of other materials, and right-click a whole bunch of times and get something out of it. In this case, I got stone. The use of stone is to create a bit of cobblestone. Now, this isn't the cobblestone generator I was talking about earlier. This is simply a way to turn some of what I already have into stone so that I can build a cobblestone generator in the long run. That's 11. I'm going to need more, I believe. Let me double check things and sieve up a bit more of this dirt. I'm really hoping to get some seeds out of this, because that's the fantastic part. You can get stone from dirt, but you can also get seeds. It doesn't look like I got anything. Anyway, you can hit U on anything that you have and just scroll over until you found the Ex Nihilo sieve. And this will tell you that the chances of getting stone are pretty significant, and all of the other things that you could get and their chances. Spruce seeds, birch seeds, acorns, carrot, potato, rubber tree seeds, sugarcane. So yeah, those drop chances are significantly reduced from what I remember, as those first 5 or 6 dirt used to be a pretty good chance of getting the potato and carrot seeds, but now they're down to 2%. So clearly someone thought of this and corrected it for balance reasons. But that's why I'm doing another playthrough, because everything has changed significantly since I did my first one. All right, we're actually going to hang on to those bones for later. All right, so I need... let's just make it all into planks. It's not like I don't have more stuff there. I needed a fishing rod. And was that everything? Hammer. Hammer's pretty simple recipe. Just a couple of sticks and a couple of whatever material you're using to create the hammer. And now it'll let me hand this in. I will get an enchanted stone axe and a quarter of a heart, as well as my choice of sugarcane, cotton, carrot, or regular seeds. Oh wait, my first stone. I need to craft a cobblestone. That's no problem. I was going to craft up a whole bunch of that stuff anyway. I believe I need at least 3 for what I want to do next. Yes. All right, that'll let me hand that in. Seeds have a fairly high chance, and cotton is really only useful for creating string and wool, which I can already do. Sugarcane is neat, but not nearly as important as carrot. So I'm going to grab myself some carrot seeds. I'm going to take my quarter of a heart and combine it with my other quarter of a heart to turn it into a half heart for easy storage. And we're going to go out there and we're going to put down this dirt right here for now. I will find a better place for it at another time. I believe I can make a wooden hoe. It's been so long in so many different mod packs that I just can't remember for certain. Yes, I can. Fantastic. So we're going to make our very basic wooden hoe so that I can till that dirt and put down some carrot seeds. And that dirt will be nicely hydrated by the flowing water that's bumping into it. Now, this basically solves my hunger issue in the short term, because now I can bone meal these carrots and get a whole bunch out of it. And I'm going to spend a stack of bone meal doing that, so I don't need to worry about food in the short term. Long term, this is not really a proper solution. However, each one of these carrots is a morsel. I think. Yes. So I can eat them for half a hunger each. It doesn't list it as a morsel, though it should. And I'll be able to improve them later on. Also, that one carrot will continue to slowly, passively grow. The stone axe has Bane of Arthropods 5, so if I have any spiders to kill, it'll be useful. I'll save that for later, because stripping that enchant off later on could be quite helpful. Next on the list of the quests, you have your first branching path. There's quite a things that you can do. Quite a lot of things that you can do. You can start creating yourself some sand, gravel, and dust, which, you know, very useful. Gets you another pickaxe, which is strange. Your first choice of reward bags, or maybe a full heart. Or you can go for a fishing trip to get yourself a bit of raw fish. I am going to start working on melting stone to create my cobblestone generator. And for that, I need the unfired crucible and the unfired clay bucket. Now, to get either of those, the clay bucket, I require 3 clay balls. To make clay balls, I'm going to need clay. And to get clay, if I scroll over, I can see my options are either 4 clay balls, which I'm trying to get clay. I can put hardened clay into an alchemic chemistry set. Well, that's not very useful. Oh, that's all that this is showing me. Well, this is where knowing the pack comes particularly in handy. So I'm going to set down this cobblestone. I think it's just the 2 of them for now. And I'm going to break both of them into gravel. You'll note that this is also progressing the quest line, Be Resourceful, as I'm going to be going straight down to dust anyway. So I put those 2 down, I break them with the hammer, I get sand, and I put those 2 down, break them with the hammer, and I get dust. When you take dust and you place it into a barrel of water, it turns into clay, which you can use right-click to collect. And, I'm going to have to jump. So, then I can put that clay onto the ground and just punch it to collect 4 clay balls apiece. I'm actually going to need 1 more clay than I currently have, which is why I set up the 3 in the first place. However, I've finished up Be Resourceful, which gives me a dust to create 1 more clay. Fantastic. I will take... This may be a proper full heart, or it might not. I'm going to claim that reward. Let's find out. Having some early lives, pretty useful. Nope, this is not a proper full heart. This is a rotten heart. Do not eat. Make sure that you check your hearts that you get from selection, because there's a lot of those like that. Now, if you hit U on that, you'll see that you can use one of these rotten hearts in an alchemic chemistry set to create a proper full heart later on. So, I'm going to save that rotten heart for now, because it'll be useful later. There's going to be a lot of things that get saved because they will be useful later. Looks like night is falling. So, quick nap. Now, the final steps in getting your cobblestone generator together. You're going to want to get that last bit of clay. Can I do this without jumping? Yes, I can. Yes, I just need to crook some leaves, which I don't have a crook on me. But I can make one, because having some more crafting stations around the world, not a bad thing. It's not like I'm hurting for wood at the moment. There we go. Dust. Yay. Clay. Now, what you do here, you create your unfired clay bucket, and you use 7 clay with 7 white dye to create 7 porcelain clay, which you then put into a cauldron pattern to create an unfired crucible. When you check your quest book for the melting stone, you'll see that the next step is to create a slab furnace. Well, to create a slab furnace, I'm going to need more cobblestone than I have, because I only have 2 and I need 3. Luckily, I still have some stone left over from sieving that early dirt. If you put the cobblestone together, you get 6 cobblestone slabs. Ooh, I'm going to need yet more cobblestone than I have, as you can see. So, how am I going to get more cobblestone? I'm all out of dirt. Well, that's actually a fairly simple answer. I'm going to... Actually, I don't need to make more buckets. I have buckets right here. I'm going to take some of my extra saplings, in this case 8, and I'm going to put them into this barrel. And you'll see that they are now composting. If I hit U over this oak saplings, and I scroll over to the... oh, actually, that mod must have been removed. Okay, so it no longer shows me all of the composting options. However, I can see that 8 oak saplings is now composting. And what that means is it is slowly turning into some dirt for me. You can compost basically any plant matter. Also, silkworms and string are acceptable compost targets. So, I'm going to spend some time creating more dirt, running it through the sieve to get myself more stones, and once I have enough cobblestone to do the next step, I will be right back. Unfortunately, that is all the time that we have for today. I could not quite get to the cobblestone generator in this episode. However, if you join me for episode 2, you will see not only the cobblestone generator, but the first steps in automation. So, thank you very much for joining me. I hope you have enjoyed this episode. If you have, please leave a like and tell me why. If you have not, please leave a thumbs down and tell me what you didn't like. And I will see you next time.